I'm Victoria Jane, and this is GigPigs from the studio, and I'm currently sat with the lovely Finn Forster, all the way from Middlesbrough. How have you been doing?
Yeah, really good. It's a warm day in Manchester.
Very warm, unexpectedly warm.
Yeah, it's been walking
It's
through the
always
centre.
normally raining in Manchester. What's it like in Middlesbrough now?
It's been horrendous the last couple of days.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's been non-stop. I've just sort of released a debut EP called Grey Skies,
Yeah.
and then that's lived up to its name because it's been just raining non-stop.
Do you know what? Talk to me about the EP, because it seems to be doing so well. I feel like you've gone from strength to strength. From the headline last year, sold that out.
Yeah,
Completely.
yeah, we did a good gig last year. It was just kind of, I guess, for me, I had a long period of time where I started right from the very beginning, not really having any understanding about releasing, about the industry, about what I was kind of coming into. I was just learning as I was going. And then I started working with my manager, Chelsea Wood, about 12 months ago. And we really got a structured sort of plan together. And then, it was almost kind of, although I had a few songs out still, this EP was like the real beginning for me with my music. So it was 5 tracks on it, and I think it was the second track on My Mind that really started, getting a big momentum for me. We broke onto national radio for the first time, BBC Radio 2. And then we were expecting just a spot play, because I'm still so early on, but then I stayed on the C list for about 3 weeks, amongst some good names. So the EP's been the real sort of start for me, I guess, and just still promoting it now, and it's been fun playing it live and stuff, and just really enjoying it.
How did you manage to select those 5 songs? Because you obviously must write a lot.
Yeah, it's I guess it's like a process where especially now as well, moving forward, I'm quite fortunate that I'll be able to be in a creative space every single week with a guy called Matt Walsh who produces all the songs and stuff, and we get to work on a sort of trial and error basis and kind of just make the songs the best that they can possibly be, because we're not on any kind of restricted time that you usually sort of would be most of the time as a musician. A lot of people go in the studio, they'll have about 9 hours.
Sometimes not even that.
Sometimes like way less, like 1 day in the studio or whatever, to come up with, your next sort of releases. Whereas I'm quite fortunate that I've had the time to be able to sort of get these songs to exactly where we want them to be. And picking it was just kind of, writing a bunch of songs, and then we kind of just make them into sort of demos. So they'd be like, we get them to a point where it's obviously not recorded properly to the point of release, but we get it to a point of the extended team and the manager and stuff, and the publisher and the radio plugger as well, who we work with, Claire, who's amazing, can all hear the songs for what they are, and then we just kind of it's all a bit of a sort of team effort to pick the best out of the bunch.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
It's crazy to know that you have only just recently, found management, and there was a period where you were, like you said, learning as you go. Is there anything that you wish you knew earlier on? Like if you had to pick one thing.
I guess it would be like, you don't have to actively go out sort of trying to get someone or something. If it's a manager or a label or something like that, I always feel like the right people and the right team members will gravitate towards you, and they'll, off the back end of what you're doing. I remember being really early on and just straight away going, like a lot of musicians are, I'd love a really good manager. I want to get the attention of labels, live agents, stuff like that. And if you go out actively kind of looking for it, especially if it's like not the right time or whatever, it's not the right way of going about it. I feel like the right people within the industry, for me anyway, I don't know what, I can't speak for anyone else, but me personally, the right people have, it's almost happened naturally, which is I'm quite fortunate about as well, because yeah, you end up with the right people around you.
That's some great words there, to be fair. I feel like everything does have a time.
Oh yeah, 100%. You can't.
100%.
Yeah, I feel like if you go out actively looking for it, it's kind of the wrong way to go about it, really. I mean, you can. For me personally, I was that active within what I was doing. You know, content, putting music out, gigging. That I was just making noise within that, and then the right people were. It wasn't only like people seeing me play live or whatever, and then I was able to back it up, which I think is so important, to have the infrastructure there as a musician, to be able to not just have one thing or not be good at one thing, just back it up with everything you possibly can. So like if you're amazing live, that's great, but then if someone wants to go and find you or wants to follow you or wants to become a fan, make sure you back it up with, you know, your socials and where you are, and your Spotify, everything across the board needs to be good. So yeah.
And you know, you talked about making some noise. You've done so many gigs. You've supported so many amazing artists as well. What have been some of your favourite gigs today?
Yeah, I've had some mad gigs, to
Not
be
including
fair.
your headlines.
Yeah, the headlines are always amazing, but I've just done... Yeah, it's been a bit crazy because I've only just signed to a live agent.
Oh, congrats.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's with John Ollier from One Phoenix Live, and I'm like really, really excited to be working with the guys at One Phoenix Live and moving forward. But before this and before that, you just kind of, you know, a lot of musicians will know what it's like. You're just kind of actively trying to get as many gigs as you possibly can.
Yeah.
So you can end up with some weird ones and some like unlikely ones. But I've supported, like, I would say one of my favourites was, like, it was unlikely as well for me in my genre as well, because I'm like a singer-songwriter. I'm very guitar-based, sort of indie folk, indie rock, alternative rock. And I ended up supporting Craig David.
Oh, did you?
At Hertfordshire, yeah. And
oh my gosh, I'm from Hertfordshire.
Oh really? Yeah,
Yeah,
there you go. Then it was on a farm.
So
it was on a farm in Hertfordshire, and it was actually quite cool.
Wow.
Cool setup, because it was like a slanted field like that, so everyone just went up like that. It was on a farm in Hertfordshire, and I think that was good because there was about 5,000 there, and I didn't really. I remember talking to the lads in my band and stuff, being like, people might not think people might not like me or whatever because I'm not the same genre, I'm not this, but they ended up being amazing, to be fair, his fans.
I think sometimes you can underestimate like the audience as well, because they've obviously come there as music lovers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I kind of realise now as well. The more I've done gigs and stuff, it's like those things don't really matter too much. It's just if people like live music, or if people like you, they like you. It is what it is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And how has GigPig helped you with?
GigPig's been amazing. So GigPig has given me a platform to be able to, grab loads of gigs, cover gigs and stuff from different areas, great venues. I've met some great people. There's a ton of gigs out there that I've sort of, it's a great system they've got going on at GigPig, where you can apply and through your availability on the app. And yeah, through GigPig, I've been able to maintain my career as a singer-songwriter and what I'm building as an original artist, but then at the same time, I earn a living through the cover gigs and stuff and all the gigs that I've got through GigPig. And it's just been great to use as a tool and a place where I don't have to, as a musician, go and do a 9 to 5. Because I think one of the best things, the biggest thing you need being a musician is time, really. Time for everything that you've got going on and the amount of work you're doing, and the amount of gigs that are there on GigPig and stuff. It's been great for me to get as many in as possible so I can earn a living, but then yeah, it's just a great platform for it.
Really great platform. And I feel like because you've had such a journey, like it's just been like a kind of a roller coaster. Obviously, you've had so many highs, probably had some lows as well. What has been one of the hardest things about being an artist?
Yeah, it's definitely, you have to be resilient. Definitely the resilience you have to have thick skin, 100%, because you go through so many ups and downs. It's unbelievable how there's been so many times in my journey so far, and I'm still so early on, where I just kind of think, I always sometimes think to myself, I wonder the difference between me now getting, a lot of momentum and stuff, and a lot of growth within my career, and the difference between me now getting all that and someone who's quit is the fact that I've just kind of been able to persevere through the ups and through the downs as well. It's a mad roller coaster. So I think ultimately, yeah, being resilient.
Well, you've just been smashing it out the park with the EP, everything. What's like next for you? What can people look?
Yeah, I've got so just released debut EP, and then we're just gonna keep everything going, keep it going like a conveyor belt, really, and I've already sort of been writing a lot. I've already been getting ahead of the curve with the next releases. I'm gonna do another EP, and yeah, at the moment, as it stands at the moment, I'm just kind of doing the behind the scenes creative stuff with it and getting the sort of branding together for it. But people can expect another EP coming in the back end of 2024.
Amazing. Well, I want to end on this question that I ask everyone. What is one thing that has to be on your rider? It has to. Every gig.
Manuka honey.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why that?
Just because it's great for the throat, good for when you're singing, and it's really expensive.
Okay, yeah, I love that.
So it's not really one of them ones that I like to go into Holland and Barrett and just grab if I can get it on the ride. It's ideal.
Yeah, love that. Yeah. Thanks for joining us.
No worries, thank you very much.
Make sure you check out Finn's From the Studio live session.